Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? This is episode 70.
Number 70, the final original content episode of 2017.
Yep, the final episode, the final regular episode of 2017. This is your boy, Mr. Busby.
And over here, back home, your boy JC No Hundreds.
No Hundreds! And we actually in the same spot. We're in JC's spot.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And, you know, excuse my somber voice right now, getting over a sickness, and also on top of that...
You got Ebola.
Yeah. It's contagious. You're contagious! But, yeah, I'm getting over sickness and all that stuff. And also a sickness off a certain album that came out that we'll talk about later. But, yeah, man, how's it feel to be home, Nyako?
Great. Got back in Wednesday morning. And as soon as I realized it was after 12 p.m. and it was still only 63 degrees, I was loving it.
Da 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 da.
Too damn hot in LA.
Yeah, I bet, man. It's nice and cool in this bitch.
I loved feeling that, and then I loved going to the first traffic light and seeing the left turn signal. Because LA is not left turn friendly at all. So that was amazing.
I'm a lefty, so damn, that's gonna be a struggle whenever I move out there.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, when you came out here, first time I saw you physically again is when we went to go see Star Wars Episode 8.
Star Wars!
And
power.
The power. Like we say, we just love Episode 3 just for the fuckery, just for the quotes, man. Like when me and JC walked out, we were still quoting that shit.
Oh yeah.
I won't take it. What was it? The part where...
Oh, when he accidentally chokes out Padme, and then he's staring down Obi-Wan. You know, you've done that yourself. You won't take her away from me!
And you get the whole camera angle and shit. Because I literally am making... We did that whole fucking dialogue word for word, because...
I love that dialogue.
Y'all, it's just so stupid. It's just so... I don't know what George Lucas was thinking when he wrote that shit, man. Like, he's supposed to give us emotion, but there really is no emotion. It was just... JC pointed out, it's unintentional comedy.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. I love that. I love that dialogue.
Just for the fuckery. Especially Palpatine's voice, man. Do it. But we saw episode... It's not called Episode 8. They just call it The Last Jedi.
Yeah. So
this is the 8th installment of the whole Star Wars series.
You know how I do when it comes to movies, man. Because, you know, for the pedestrians out there, we was at Eastridge
AMC.
And, of course, I went over to the food court before we met up. I got a McPick 2 and a water bottle, and I stuffed it in my hoodie pouch. And then I went to Mrs. Fields and then stuffed both my pockets with some cookies and walked right up in that mug.
And you had the macadamian cookies?
Had the chocolate chip, macadamia, and then had the wild card, because, you know, you buy 4, get the 5th for free. The wild card was the Eminem.
I haven't had... Well, irony.
Yeah.
You know, save that laugh for later. But The Last Jedi, man, that movie was the longest Star Wars of all the movies I've seen. Of all the Star Wars movies I've seen.
Like what, almost 2 hours, 45
damn
minutes?
It felt like 3 hours, but it went by hella quick.
Yeah.
And when you look at the reviews, like if you look at the critics fucking love it, but there's a split between the critics and the nerds. The nerds are dissing this movie really hard. But before we get to those niggas, it's about our review. That's the only review that matters. And honestly, The Last Jedi was fucking awesome.
That was dope.
To me, it was fucking... And honestly, there's also spoilers. If you guys haven't seen the movie by now, the movie made $220 million at the box office. The whole world has seen this movie by now. So if you didn't see it, oh the fuck well.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah, that's your fault. So we're just going to spoil the fuck out of it. But yeah, man, I like the direction they took with this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was... I definitely had some what the fuck type of moments.
Oh, like, there was a few.
Like... Okay, I'm jumping right into it. Like, because everybody knows I liked it. I already said that on social media.
Yeah, same here.
When Leia turned into Superman.
Supergirl, Superwoman.
No, it was Superman, okay?
Superwoman, bro.
No, because not even Superwoman would do something like that. When Leia turned into Superman, I tuned out for 10 to 15 minutes. I was through with it. I did not come back.
When that happened, I was just like, you know what? I can't be mad. Someone else took control. And I'm looking at it from a logical standpoint. She's a Skywalker at the end of the day. This takes place 30 years after Return of the Jedi. Luke probably taught her some shit.
That's all nice and well. Chances are he didn't teach her because it's just in her blood. But it was just the timing of it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even necessarily that it happened. It was the portrayal of it. She was in air just floating. Sleep. And all of a sudden her finger just rose and then she floated back. Like, nah, bruh. I'm not buying that. Like, I mean, nah.
Yeah, I get that. And also another one, I guess we could all think, a lot of the nerds and a lot of the critics can agree with this one, the subplot between Finn and Rose.
I could have done with that. Like, it was a good third story to add to it, but
it was unnecessary at the end of the day because they didn't really hack into the hard drive. They didn't do none of the shit. Boy ended up producer Del Toro ended up fucking betraying
which was a turn on, trying to make it the new age
Lando. But it was just like, all right. It was like,
well, that just like you would expect with that kind of scenario, they have a bunch of adventures, not necessarily an adventure, but some adventurous moments. And what was it, the mutant horses or whatever they were racing?
Like they were
kangaroos, whatever. It wasn't even interesting. Like it was just freed them and
there.
That was it.
And it kind of just took away from the whole Rey and Luke storyline and Kylo being a little bitch again. And
hey man, don't disrespect Kylo.
Kylo's a bitch. He's still a bitch.
Kylo's the great. Honestly, at this point,
you call Kylo the great?
No, I was about to say at this point in the game, Kylo's actually more advanced than Vader was at their time.
But at the same time, if he was that much of a gangster, he would have killed Leia. He would have killed his mom.
Oh, I said that. I said that plenty of times, but I don't think that was on Kylo. I think that was on the director, not Kylo. So
that was on the director. That
was on J.J. Abrams. That wasn't on Kylo.
J.J. Abrams didn't direct this.
Oh, well, see, well, there you go. That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. He produced it. I forgot the nigga that directed it, but I like the way he took the movie though. Like, well, okay, let's talk about everything we did like about the damn movie. The action sequences were fucking phenomenal.
They're great. I like Kylo's development.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. I liked the backstory that showed it wasn't just him turning evil. Mm-hmm. It was Luke's lapse in judgment that forced him into the dark side. Mm-hmm. So I definitely like that. Rey's development, I wanted more.
I think a lot of people wanted more.
Definitely, and especially because it was like, they just mind fucked us with, oh, your parents weren't special. Like, what?
I didn't believe that.
And I don't believe it either. But at the same time, it's like that's what you built up for this point. Like, I guarantee in episode 9 is going to be a lot more.
Because J.J. Abrams, if you saw The Force Awakens, he left hella clues. He left little blueprint clues about her past. And Force, he, like, the flashbacks and shit like that. He left clues for your ass. So some people were just mad he didn't really follow through with it. But in my viewpoint, that's what sequels are for.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to answer that until probably the next movie. I probably have this feeling in the next movie, which is maybe the last one in this little saga, they're going to answer everything.
No, I get that. But I think what pissed off a lot of fans was it wasn't that they were asking more questions. It was that they were asking more. It was bringing up stuff that deserved more question or answers to the questions than answering previous questions beforehand.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main thing I enjoyed was the connection between Kylo and Rey.
But not just the connection, just how they use the Force.
No, that's what I'm saying. Their connection overall in this was just, that was amazing. That's something that I don't think anybody's seen that, as far as, it's probably getting canon with the books and the video games, but as far as seeing it on screen, I don't think that's ever been shown before.
I mean, they kind of did do that with Luke and Leia in Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
When he called for her name and shit. Then they actually opened that concept even more. And
they took it further.
They took it further, which is pretty interesting. And plus, these motherfuckers are like having the Force on steroids and shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. They have the Force on steroids.
It's all raw. So there's no limits for them.
Yeah, they have no limits. So it's like, and there's questions like, how does Rey know how to do all this shit like that? How does, it's just like a whole bunch of questions that still needs to be answered, which I really feel is going to get answered in the next one. What else did we need? Oh, Luke's character. How'd you like how he was? I
like how he's aged.
Yeah,
he's not the sweet, innocent, the guy that was in the first original 3. Mm-hmm. He's aged properly.
It's been 30 years.
He's seen some shit.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of shit.
And he's not too keen on seeing anymore if he can handle it. And that's initially how we ended up with this new trilogy, as it was revealed in the story.
Mm-hmm. Especially like you knew he was different because when Rey gave him the lightsaber, this was his dad's lightsaber. This was Anakin's lightsaber. And as soon as he did that, as soon as she gave him the lightsaber, he just looked at it and tossed that shit over the fucking cliff.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
See you in episode 9.
Yeah, pretty much he just did that, and that was almost like a metaphor for like, yo, this is like all the fucking theories you had about all the trilogies and shit like that. What you thought about this movie, throw it out the window.
Yeah, pretty much. I like that though.
I liked it, and also Yoda's appearance and shit like that, which I didn't see coming.
And it was puppet Yoda.
It was puppet, not CGI Yoda. It was puppet Yoda from Empire Strikes Back, which was interesting. I was like, oh shit.
And puppet Yoda came back and burned some shit down.
Yeah, he burned. It was the last essence of the Jedi, and and he was still teaching Luke shit. I didn't mind none of that. I love awesome. The callbacks to the original movie.
Even the story with I forget the other character, the one that helped Finn in the first one. I forget his name.
That helped Finn from the first one.
The one that had
Poe.
Poe, thank you.
Poe.
I like Poe's storyline where they were focusing on being a hero versus being a leader. That was a great storyline.
That was a great thing, man. I also like Rose, the little Asian girl.
I liked her. It was just her. They could have developed that.
Yeah, they could have developed it a little more. She a cutie though. The actress that plays her, she's a little cutie. She's like a nerd in real life. But what else is there to touch on? Well, the lightsaber. Oh, Snoop's killing. Snope. I call it Snope. It's Snoop. Snope.
Not Snope.
I know. I said Snope.
You said Snope.
Whatever. Yeah, that part was really surprising to me. That takes balls to kill the main big bad guy in the second movie.
I still don't know who the hell he was.
That's what books are for.
Well, they said this wasn't canon. That's the problem.
No. When they write the books on him, they're gonna break. That's what I mean.
Well, that don't help because that's going to be a while from now. I want to know who he was now.
Well, shit. You know who Palpatine was when we saw what's it called? When we saw Return of the Jedi and shit, we didn't know who he was until the prequels. Yeah, that's true. Well, shit. Just play the video games and read the books and read the comic books. Yeah. Then you're gonna know who he is. But yeah, and then that lightsaber battle between them, because when that shit happened in the movie theater, when the lightsaber turned on and we thought Kylo turned face for a little bit, it was like, oh shit! And the lightsaber battle, that shit was fucking epic. As soon as that happened,
that was Matrix.
When that shit happened and they got that shit, I leaned into. I was like, okay, nigga, let's go. And niggas were just slicing, dicing. Man, Ray was just throwing shit. And that last little part where she threw
the saber and then he just clicked the button,
clicked the button and popped him in the eye. That shit was dope, man.
But and then what I appreciated about that is just when you think he's about to be face, they run a parallel perfect. They ran this so smoothly, perfectly.
You caught this. You brought this up as soon as we
They
left.
ran the parallel back to episode 3 before when Anakin's in the lava, and initially when it's Padme that gets off the ship first, tries to bring him back. And he says, I'm becoming more powerful than even
the Emperor.
Even the Emperor. We could run this together. They brought it right back, and they led right into his grandson, offering this woman the same thing, saying, run the galaxy with me, and we could do it our way.
Pretty much he did what you said. He did what his granddaddy didn't do. He killed his master.
Yeah.
He killed his master, and now he wants to run shit.
Well, I mean, he did kill his master, but that was off of desperation.
Well, yeah, Anakin killed to save his fucking son.
Yeah, so
he was Anakin at that point.
Yeah.
Still a bitch. But
yeah.
That was interesting. And plus, the final battle between the last and the third act, when it was Kylo and Luke, and the final battle when it was
that was amazing.
But you know what you didn't know. I don't know if you noticed this shit, but when they're on that little what was it? When they're on the planet. And it was that little white salt shit was on the ground. Yeah. So every time they were walking, there was a red footprint.
Yeah.
When you saw Luke, you didn't see no footprints. There was no footprints at all. I noticed that on my second viewing. I was like, oh shit, there really was no footprints. I was like, okay, and I thought that was
great attention to detail.
Oh yeah,
that's what separates the good movies from those that really stand out.
Yeah,
just those little attentions to detail.
And then that part where Luke, when they shoot all the fucking all the cannons at him and shit. And I was like, well, there goes Luke. And then Luke's like, he just pops up and just does the dirt off his shoulders. And then when it gets revealed that he was on the other planet meditating and shit like that, I was like, oh, wow. I even said, wow.
Coldest part was I looked at him and said, see you around, kid.
And disappears. That was some gangster shit, like, see you around, nigga.
But ultimately that... Performing all that, it used up all the rest of his natural life, and he became one with the Force after that.
Yep, he was at peace, saw the sunset, and then he became one with the Force. So he'll show up in Episode 9 as a fucking ghost to raid.
Ghost Jedi or whatever.
Ghost Jedi or whatever, and Which, honestly, that's the little point I'm kind of disappointed at because I wanted Luke to fight a little bit more and be more of a, what's it called, in the movie. But like I said last year, like after Han died, all bets are off.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing too, again, is he was the main focus on in those original three.
Original three, yes.
So this one, he has to. That's the thing that people gotta understand. When you're not the main character anymore, the story isn't about him anymore. Mm-hmm. So now he has to play.
His story ended.
Now he has to play the role. This is his Obi-Wan role.
Man, he's gonna be Rey's Obi-Wan pretty much.
Right, and that's evolution.
So that's pretty much how it goes down.
When it comes to Leia,
yeah, that's the thing that sucks.
First and foremost, again, rest in peace to Carrie Fisher. I understand that they wanted to keep the original, as much of the original as possible, because she did do all those scenes prior. So I understand it. I respect it, and I give it respect in that instance. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, though, they missed a major opportunity to make Kylo Ren that villain.
They really did.
Like, they really,
but
really
then
missed
if they do that, then that's going to be like, they had to do hella reshoots. And, that was going to cost money. Disney wasn't going to throw the bag at them like that.
Disney got the bag. Stop.
Well, now they got the bag.
They had the bag before that.
No, but now they got unlimited bags.
Yeah.
Unlimited bags! Now they really got the bag. So.
Hey, yo, Mickey, it's going to cost $2 billion to get this new X-Men done. Here's $5 million. Do it.
Now you got this image in my head of Mickey Mouse in a hoodie, sitting on the fucking.
That should probably be the cover.
If we can find it, do it. And side note, if y'all don't know, fucking Disney bought 20th Century Fox.
Disney pretty much bought Western civilization. That's what they bought.
They bought 20th Century Fox, and they got fucking. They got the rights to
Marvel?
X-Men. No, they got all the Marvel movies: X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. And they said they're gonna keep Deadpool the way he is.
Hallelujah.
So, and they got the rights to Avatar. So James Cameron just nutted in his pants because now he got Disney money.
He's
funding his sequels. But besides all that, when it comes to Star Wars, I like what they did with this movie. But it kind of just left on a. Like Empire Strikes Back, it was a really bittersweet ending. Same with Attack of the Clones, it was kind of a bittersweet ending because because Empire Strikes Back had like a fucked up ending because Luke lost his hand, he found out Vader's his dad, Han Solo it got frozen in carbonite. It was like one big ass to be continued. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Attack of the Clones, Episode 2, we know the Clone Wars coming. Anakin and Padme got married, but you know what his future is going to. So this is going to be a bad ending. This one left us with some hope. This could have been the end of the trilogy right here, if you really think about it.
It could have. I think in essence, though, what it did was it left a lot to be desired, but not necessarily in a good way. It left a lot to be desired in a mixed bag type of way.
Yeah,
where it was you want more, not because you're excited for the next one, but you're actually lightweight pissed. Like, why did you bring this up now when you could have answered the last question I had from the previous one?
And what also sucks more is not because the last shot is everyone's on the Millennium Falcon. Mm-hmm. That's the last part of the Resistance is on the Millennium Falcon, including Leia. So, of course, they're gonna kill her off or some shit in the next movie. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Maybe she died of old age or some shit like that. And I don't know how they're gonna do it. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But the nerds. It's the one thing that's really been curious about me about this movie is just how the nerds backlash on this movie. They are roasting this movie. They're saying, I saw one review saying that this movie this movie makes the prequels look better.
Really?
Yeah. I
would never go that far.
I didn't go that far. I was like, gee, I liked it. And I was going looking at reviews from the movies, and I was looking at certain YouTube reviewers, and they kind of did the plot holes like how we pointed at some stuff, but
right.
I looked at this one nerdy ones, and they were just getting angry because number one, another person that was in the movie was Plasma, the big ass stormtrooper, the tall ass female stormtrooper, Phasma.
I was upset with that as well.
I like the minority that did not give a damn about her.
Well, because you didn't give a damn about her because she was an afterthought when they were supposed to make her somebody that could have been elite in episode 7.
Yeah,
and the reason why she was an afterthought was because traitor Star Trooper came in.
Yeah.
So for that, it was like, well, why the hell did you bring her back in this one then? You got everybody's hopes up.
And they said that she had a more predominant role.
Yeah, she didn't have a more predominant role. She did the exact same thing. This time she just died.
Yeah, she was about to execute Finn and Rose, and then fucking Finn just got up and clocked her in the head, and she fell into hell. fell in the fiery pits of hell.
And they just, her glass of her mask shattered. You just see her eyeball.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like, okay, so I really didn't think she died. They're gonna probably bring her back in the next.
I mean, that's why people were upset. It was, you said she was gonna have a bigger role, and then her role was really on for like 10 or 15 minutes.
That's one thing I was really. I was like, he's like, damn, you nerds really love her like that, huh?
I don't think it's necessarily about loving her. It's just that
principle.
It's the principle. If you're gonna introduce somebody and say they play a predominant role, then let them play a predominant role.
And then I think the number one thing they were really angry about, like the nerds, the Star Wars nerds, is that none of their... Because I'm telling you, leading up into this movie, when that first trailer came out, they had so many theories about where the movie was going to go and shit like that. And none of their theories came true. When Snoke died, that's when they threw all that shit out the window. They were just like, what? And nerds were really upset that none of their theories came true. They didn't listen to them. And then at the end of the day, I'm going like, you niggas don't write this damn movie. They're not going to listen to you guys. You guys are going to see it either way. George Lucas don't have nothing to do with this no more. But the only thing I will say is that this better lead into something. Like the last movie, the last part of this trilogy, they better have like a really good ending for this.
They got it.
Because I have this feeling that in the next movie, it's going to be a bittersweet ending.
I wouldn't expect it any other way. They've all ended up bittersweet endings.
Return of the Jedi was a bittersweet ending?
Yeah, he finally saw his dad's face and he died.
Yeah, but after that, the Rebel Alliance, okay, and then Episode 3 Vader.
Yeah.
So it has to be a bittersweet ending. And Kylo is going to win. Kylo has to make it. Kylo been fucking getting smoked on all the movies. In the first 2 movies, he got fucking sunned. First in Episode 1, not Episode 1. In Force Awakens, he got sunned because, what's his name? When Rey
sliced him up.
Rey sliced him up. And then in Episode 2, Luke just tricked his ass.
Episode 8.
And then now, I'm saying in the next one, he's going to he's going to win somehow. Somehow he's going to win. He probably would die, but he's going to win somehow.
Yeah, he'll likely, I hope he doesn't die, but, you know.
I don't know, so what's your little theory for Episode 8?
I just want to know who the hell Rey is.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I care about. Who's Rey?
What's her last name?
Right.
Everyone thought she was Snoop.
She's too strong within the Force.
Everyone thought that was Luke's.
Somebody.
Everyone thought that was Luke's daughter or some shit, but no, it ain't. So, it's too. I don't know, because Anakin came out of nowhere, like a virgin birth and shit like that. So, I don't know, man. I just want to enjoy the movies because after that, there's not going to be Episode 9 next year. However, there is going to be another Star Wars movie because every year. The Han Solo movie, I don't know who's going to play Han Solo, but I know that Childish Gambino is going to be a young Billy D. Williams. So, it's going to come out May 19th. It's coming out May next year, so.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, yeah, Han Solo, Star Wars. It's going to be called Solo, because we saw the poster. It just strictly said Solo, a Star Wars movie. So.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. A young Harrison Ford. It's going to be interesting.
Who was playing Han Solo? Oh, Alden Rach? Ahiron Rach?
I don't know who the fuck he is. He's probably in.
I don't know. He our age though.
He's an unknown, pretty much. I thought that Miles Teller was gonna play him because he looks like a young Harrison Ford. I could see him passing as a young Han Solo.
Yeah.
And also, we get to finally see what happened with Han Solo and Lando, what caused him to have beef and have Lando to fucking betray him and shit.
What's beef?
Beef is when you steal my Millennium Falcon on the streets. But yeah, if y'all got that far, we'll probably put it in the description when you get turn. No, fuck that. We'll just let you know spoilers. We told you at the beginning.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, that's your fault.
That's your fault. Yeah, we're gonna put it in the description spoilers. But yeah, that's Episode 9. It's 8. Man, I'm still getting over this flu. Yeah. That was The Last Jedi.
So that was Thursday night. Friday, we'll dive into Friday a little bit later.
All right.
But Saturday,
Hove.
We went to go see the Jigga Man out in the town.
444, the 444 tour, which came to Oakland. I think that's when my sickness really showed up.
Yeah, you were feeling it.
And myself.
Shout out to the homie Andy. Met up with us for a little bit before we all. Well, first we were in the wrong seats.
Yeah.
We misread the section.
Mm-hmm.
We were in 123, but then we needed to be in 124. And it actually ended up working out in our favor because we got a better seat without that big ass pole in the middle of the way. Vic Mensa opened up.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Vic Mensa's performance. Unfortunately, he was in a position where he's opening up for a juggernaut, and not people just aren't coming to go see the opening act.
People were he wasn't getting no reaction. Vic Mensa you could tell he was rapping his ass off. He was performing his ass off, and the Oakland crowd gave him no response, barely any response. I was like, "Jeez, bro."
Yeah. Now there were several who were rapping word for word, but they're spread out all over
the arena. Yeah.
One thing I did like two things actually I liked about his performance was number one. He had a section where he dedicated it to the 800,000 inmates who were simply in jail just because they can't afford to post bail and bond.
Yeah, that was good.
So I like that. And then he actually brought out Malik Yusef.
Yeah.
The great wordsmith that has been featured on a lot of good music records, was actually signed to Good Music and released an album back in 2009, I believe.
That featured Kanye.
Yeah. And he came out and delivered a spoken word that led into the theme of that message right there. So shout out to Vic Mensa.
He tried.
Opening acts are really tough to, break through, especially on an act like that. But that's probably one of the best opening acts I've seen given the circumstances.
Well, you think YG did a good job with Kendrick and shit?
YG already had a name.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like Vic Mensa's still trying to garner a name for himself.
Yeah, I mean Hov gave him that look pretty much.
Right. Like for this, this isn't even compared to. I won't even compare this to Kendrick opening for Kanye because Kendrick had a name.
Yeah, he had Good Kid, Mad City.
Right.
And shit.
Like Vic Mensa is still Vic Mensa who had Kanye on his song like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of those artists where you're like, oh wait, he did a song with such and such, not him having his own signature song.
Yeah, that's true. Vic Mensa tried, but when Hov came out, man.
Oh man, that was a movie.
Let's talk about the visuals, man.
Oh, that was when I say that was a movie, like we're not talking about party or we're talking about the whole aesthetics of it all. Like just the visuals on the screen. The screens themselves were moving throughout the show.
That's some shit that's some shit him and Kanye should have did for Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
Those screens, like the way they were like moving around and shit like that. That was pretty unique. And then the videos and the visuals they were showing, fucking great. And Hov just did what Hov does,
He came out, was the first 3 songs was Kill Jay-Z.
And then it was The Evils. And then Lucifer.
And I was like, this is just the first 3 songs. This is incredible.
Yeah. And then he just kept going and going. He did Allure. What else did he do?
This concert was a stunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just flex just to show you how wide my catalog goes.
Yeah, my catalog goes. Yeah, he even did Imaginary Players mixed with Moonlight, dog. That was
incredible. I thought he retired Big Pimpin', and out of nowhere,
he ain't never retired.
Big Pimpin'. It's rare when you see him perform that.
What do you mean it's rare? He performed it all the damn time.
I
watched all his streaming. He ain't never retiring that. Even when he was with Beyonce, he performed it with Beyonce on tour, on the one tour. Imagine that. He was cheating on her and still performed that damn song.
Hell yeah.
and he did perform 444 that was crazy with the spotlight.
That was honestly the performance of the night.
Yeah, with the spotlight and him just staying, and he even said every night doesn't get any easier.
So the reason why it was performance of the night was, again, Busby set up the scenery. When you look at the 2 screens, the angles that they caught for that performance, there was a camera that was overlooking him from the spotlight's point of view. Yeah. So it's just looking down. And when you look at the screen and how it's framed, it's just this light that's just shining on top of him.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else around him. So it's like he's all alone.
Yeah, he's confessing his sins pretty much.
And then the other screen is just the close-up of his face.
Yeah.
So you could actually... So on one... I believe it's the left side. So the left visual... It's just him in this light. The next visual is just up. You see every detail of his face.
See, I put that moment up there the same night when I saw Kanye during the Yeezus tour when he performed "Hey Mama." Because it was the second day. It was the second. Was it the second time of the night? Yeah, he performed "Hey Mama," and I remember the first time he performed it. On the first stop, he fucking broke down and cried, and then he did it again during the San Jose stop, and he got through the whole first verse. And I'll never forget when he walked past and it was just him by himself with a spotlight on him, similar like what Hov did.
Right.
And then when he was done, I remember seeing him walk backstage going to the wardrobe, and I saw people patting him on the back. Pretty much glad he got through it. So I remember that. But this one, yeah, Hov really just he buried his soul.
Yeah.
And he went back to the fuckery.
And so this is just song after song after song. But then what I liked too was he went into just having a talk with the fans. Well, first he realized where he was. Oh, yeah. And there was a lot of Bay Area appreciation.
Well, he was in Oakland, so he kept saying Oakland just like Brooklyn.
Yeah. So then I wouldn't say he realized where he was. It was just he was seeing, just how Oakland getting the Bay in general just gets down. Mm-hmm. Next thing we know, it's E40. Tell me when to go. Just pops up and
everyone just went dumb.
Yeah,
literally at the whole arena, and Dove was just looking around like, "Wow, so this is how it goes down out here."
Right. And then it was funny too because when he got to Niggas in Paris, he first kept trying to go and then he kept stopping a few times. Then when everybody was going wild, he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I forgot where I am. Hold on, let me get my stuff off real quick." He took off his chain,
his jacket. I forgot you niggas get hyphy out here. I can't, man. Him performing Niggas in Paris without Ye doesn't feel right to me.
Right.
It really doesn't feel right.
Although what I did love about it was he at least did the opening lines of Kanye's
and then
verse.
He stops it.
Yeah.
He knows he can't do that song without Ye.
Right. So that was another moment that really stood out was Smile.
But what led into Smile?
Yeah. So Smile. Well, no, that's what I'm getting. Just Smile as a whole. Mm-hmm. He begins talking to the crowd saying, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I just want to let you know, what do you say? Darkness isn't darkness. It's just the absence of light. Mm-hmm. So if you're going through some tough times, just know the light's going to be going. So he starts performing Smile. And then as soon as he finishes, he stops.
This was before Smile. I remember this because before he did that, he was performing another song and then he stops himself and he was like, "Oh my God, that lady right there, you beat cancer twice." And he points to this lady in the crowd and she had a sign that said, I beat cancer twice. Can I get a hug? Can I get a selfie or a hug?"
Yeah, if I remember her name correctly, it was Christina Cruz.
Yes, that was her name. Damn, great memory.
And so then he goes, "Nah, I gotta bring you up here." And so then he's talking. He goes, "You beat cancer twice? I thought I was a bad motherfucker."
I thought I was a bad motherfucker. And then she gets on stage and he hugs her, and then her husband takes a picture of her on stage with Hove, and I was like, "Damn, that's Jay-Z for you."
Yeah.
And then he performed Smile with the pianos just playing.
Right.
I thought that was dope. And one thing I noticed, because this is why I kind of like where we were sitting, because it would be nice if we were up front, you know, but I like where we were sitting because we saw everything. Right. We saw the stage, we saw the screen, and I noticed there was this white boy that was literally sitting up front, and when Hove was rapping Smile, because it was like a nice moment, this white boy did not give a fuck. He rapped every word to that record. And when Hove was rapping, he was rapping right with them. And Hove kind of caught it too, but he was just like, it was dope. That was a great moment. I remember that.
And then, of course, the final moment.
When he shout out to Chester.
Yeah. So he finished off with Encore, but it wasn't the regular Encore. It was the Numb edition
with the Linkin Park mashup.
Yeah, and he requested everybody put their lights up in memory of Chester.
That was dope.
And that's how he closed out.
And he said, "Yeah, mental health is important.
Right.
So check up on your people."
Right.
Which was a great way to end it. And then he walked through the crowd, and then that was it. He didn't have no. I guess that was the encore because usually Hove always has an encore after his shows, but I think Smile was supposed to be the last song, and then I guess Numb Encore was the last one. But yeah, Jay-Z did it again, man.
Great show.
Oh, great show. Man, Jay-Z is a once-in-a-lifetime type of artist, so if he comes in your town, you need to go watch him and appreciate him. And
shout out to him because he gave everybody
6
months of comp title. So everybody got that at least up until June. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got them comp months for title. So you ain't got no excuses not to listen to shit.
For 6 months.
For 6 months, you know what I'm saying?
That's probably why they're losing fucking money. That's what I've been hearing about it. I heard a story. The story came out saying they're losing money. I'm like, yeah, man, he's giving away free accounts for free. For 6 months? Shit. We got 2 of those, so I could use my 6 months.
And it probably helps out that, he's got sponsors all over the place with that, so he's probably there's ways that he's likely getting around this.
Hove, he's a hustler, baby. He can sell water to a well, bro.
But yeah, we sort of check them joints out because if we play our cards right, Busby can use his first 6 months.
Yep.
And if there ain't no expiration date, then we just gonna roll in and use my next 6 months, and we got 2018 comp.
And they were really authentic cards too.
Oh yeah, so they have some weight.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Hove, like shit. But yeah, man, that was a good way to end the year. Jay-Z, and let's see what else. What happened Friday with your black ass?
The music.
Oh, Yeah, we get to that later. So, so then Sunday, the Raiders played.
Yeah.
Well, before that, my Niners won. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Told you.
Jimmy Garoppolo. You didn't know if he wasn't our quarterback, man.
I didn't tell you anything about that. I just told you at the start of this year, and you can go back and find all the podcast episodes.
Oh, I know.
I told you. Y'all was at least going to win 4 games.
We ain't going to win 5, nigga. Jimmy Garoppolo, that's Jimmy G, man.
Before then you was like, nah, man, I don't even know because if it wasn't for Jimmy Garoppolo, and I was like, I didn't tell you how was you going to get at least 4 wins.
Hey.
I just told you was going to win at least 4 games.
I was angry. Brian Hoyer, hell no. I like CJ. I forgot his fucking CJ Bernard or what the fuck his name. I liked him. If they were to build a team around him, I liked him. But Jimmy Garoppolo, shit, that's that nigga right there. I can understand why Belichick wanted to keep him. I completely understand why they wanted to keep him because he was going to be the heir to Tom Brady's throne.
Yeah, but it looks like Tom Brady ain't retiring.
Well, Tom Brady ain't retiring anytime soon, so he's
2045
or whenever the Madden curse gets him. But
I mean, he was on the cover of Madden and still ain't gotten him.
Yeah, just wait.
Well, no, it got him before, and he came back with a vengeance. So I mean, that's the thing.
What do you mean it got him before? He was on the cover before?
Yeah,
the GOAT edition.
I believe he was on the cover before.
No, he wasn't. He was never on the cover.
No, that was the first time. I stopped keeping up with Madden, so
yeah, same here. But I just know distinctly he was never on the cover until that Super Bowl win. But
well, Madden was supposed to get him. It sure ain't get him anytime soon because.
Well, anyway, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, he led us, and it feels so good to be 4-10. Never thought I'd say that. Like those 4 wins. Well, actually, I count the 3 wins. That's 3 wins of hope. That's 3 wins of hope for the next season. So
that's your episode 8.
That's my episode hope.
It left you with hope.
Left me with hope. Yep, like Rogue One, hope. Just seeing Garoppolo and seeing how he looks, and we just need a good backup. We'd be good. And when Garcon comes back. We'll be all right.
Yeah, well, the Raiders
Cowboys
well,
game. Mr. E. Lynch.
The Raiders Cowboys game left me in a state of pistosity.
Oh yeah, man. Shit.
So actually, this is my first game back at a Raiders game since, well, obviously last year, but home game. So it's pretty much been a full calendar year. It felt good going back, seeing everybody.
Bet it did.
So there was good vibes there. Ran into some friends, especially my boy Jason. Shout out to, I call him Jace Windu, because he's a big time Star Wars fan as well. So we was out kicking it before I went back in from the tailgate. I saw a few other friends. Went back up to my old post, of course, where I used to shoot, and then where I turned everything over to the little homie Brendan. Brendan didn't have to shoot the first quarter, so I immediately shot just the first 10 plays just to get some warm-up and practice in. Mm-hmm. I just want y'all to know, I still got it. So then we watched...
got the juice, huh?
Yeah, so we watching the game, and of course it's still going off slow in the first half.
Yeah.
Second half picks up, and, we out there whooping ass. And
yeah.
Just the way it goes. And then one play, which I understood why they called it back, was Sean Smith's second pick, which would have been a pick 6 had he had his knee up before Cole Beasley tapped him. So I got called back. I ended up kicking a field goal. Defensively, we was on a roll, and then momentum completely shifted when the Cowboys did the fake punt, and punter just ran for his life.
Ran like the cops were chasing him?
Nah, he ran like he had said nigga in a song and didn't realize there were some black people around him. He was gone. Like, you got to go back and watch the replay. He was legit. I was just watching it like,
what did he get?
I can't even be mad at that. Like, they caught us completely off guard. We responded back. Nice touchdown. So it's going down to the wire. Of course, at this point, everybody knows.
That's when I turned the game on. That's when I looked at
something. And then in crunch time.
Of course.
4th down. 4th and 1.
Inches.
Nah, it was 4th and 1 for this one. Yeah, it was legit 4th and 1.
Oh, I'm just thinking of the...
Cowboys hand the ball off to the running back. I forget his name.
Doesn't matter.
And clearly he got stopped behind the line.
He got stuffed. Even when you see the first round, I saw it. I'm like, oh, they stopped him. And then when he saw the line, I'm like, oh, they stopped him.
And so, but for whatever reason, they take longer than a minute to just converse, and they're still conversing. It's like, okay, come on, man. Like, let's be. It's already starting to get hectic at this point. Mm-hmm. Then they bring the chains out, and it's like, okay, we're finally gonna get some clarity. The chains are out, and they still don't call anything.
And it was inches. That the ball was literally inches by. So what did the ref do, Jason?
And then this is when my levels of pistosity just reached an all-time high because then this is just when fuckery came into play, and I just had to remember, that's right, they always end up finding a way to screw out the Raiders. He pulls out a folded envelope.
I thought it was paper.
Paper envelope. Envelope is paper. Okay, whatever the hell it was. It was folded. And he puts the damn thing in between the football
and the marker.
And he has this smug-ass, arrogant-ass look like he's just holding in this laugh.
Like, well, first down.
And all you can see is safety Carl Joseph just look at him and it's before he calls it and he knows what's about to happen. And you just see his hands just like, don't do this. No. And he just turns around and he puts his damn whiffly white ass arm through and just first down. And from that point, Brendan and I just looked at each other. Brendan's dad was up there because Brendan's dad's part of the organization. And we all just looked at each other and was just like,
it's some bullshit.
Can't believe this. I can't believe it.
I couldn't believe that. That was some bullshit. Man, like I literally looked at that like, no, that's not. I'm like, wow, they gave it to him.
Now I'm gonna say
that's
this.
Some bullshit.
That was not the reason why we lost the game. There was mental mistakes down the route.
You got to get to the last play, bro.
Of course, because now this is what we're going into. They kick a field goal. There's plenty of time for us to go down, push the drive. It all seems lost initially because we end up on 4th and 10 on our own end zone, on our own side. Derek throws. This is one thing I love about Derek. He actually studies this throughout the week. He's looking at ways to get pass interference calls. So he knows that Krabs got whoever was guarding him beat.
Yeah, so he threw that.
Then pass interference. So now we're back. We're down on our side. And as it's progressing, it gets to 3rd down. And he has a wide open lane, and he could have easily just settled for the first down. Still had one timeout left. He opted to go for the touchdown, reached out, and out of nowhere,
the ball comes out.
I don't even know who the Cowboys defense player was, but he sprinted like a madman, and he botched the ball out. Next thing you know, the ball goes out right in the end zone.
I saw that. I was like, damn, Derek. I remember when the play started, I was like, run, nigga. And I looked at it. I was like, get it in the end zone. Then when he reached out, I was like, touchdown. I was like, oh, no, the ball came out. Oh, that's a touchback. Oh, womp, womp. Oh, there goes the season. Well.
Yeah. So.
You got for you guys to make the wild card, a miracle needs to happen.
That was the opportunity to make the wild card.
Well, that's what I mean.
Mathematically, we still have a chance, but at this
point... That's what I mean, mathematically.
Nah, a miracle still has more percentage chance than what we need to take place, what needs to happen. Like, mathematically, we're still in, but at this point, it's just...
a wrap.
Yeah. That sucked. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, it really does. That's the end of a disappointing-ass season.
But, again, overall, I love the organization. I love everybody there. It was one of those ones where I was like, it sucks, but I'm glad I was here to be a part of the fact that it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was at home watching TV, I'd have, like, cried myself to sleep, yada, yada, yada. But, the fact I could rely on others who were feeling just as bad.
You know what some Raider fans call it? They call it the Vegas curse.
I can see that. I could definitely see that.
Well, for me, 4 wins of hope for me, so.
I told you. Hey. You want to listen to me, though.
Hey. I was mad.
Yeah. But to finish up a recap of Week 15, I saw one of the most gangster things I've ever seen this morning. Because obviously I wasn't able to watch football yesterday since I was setting up. Cam Newton. So the Panthers played the Packers. And Cam trolled the hell out of linebacker Clay Matthews. Cam calls something out, and Clay thinks he recognizes it, and so he starts yelling out, wheel. Cam looks at him and says, oh, you've been watching film, huh? Like, just this is all in the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Like, oh, you've been watching film, huh?
Clay's like, yeah, I have been. And Cam just looks at me and goes, oh, for sure, watch this. There is no hike, there is no hut, there is no go. He says this, and the ball comes out like it was planned. The Packers' defense was so out of place. And he just looks in the end zone, tosses it, and it's just a touchdown right then and there. It's the most gangster thing I've ever seen in a football game. Live. Or not live, but just when I saw it.
Cam's still a bitch for not taking that knee.
Yeah, well.
Speaking of that, you might as well
he out here looking like Aladdin now. Well, before we even get to that, so that was Aaron Rodgers' return.
Yeah, on for him.
He threw 3 touchdowns, but then he also threw 3 picks at the same time.
Yeah, can't win off those.
So Aaron, Panthers end up winning 31-24. Panthers owners in some shit.
Man.
So Jerry Richardson He's not in a position where he's looking to sell the team after the season ends, because it's been made public that he's had some sexual and racial harassment within the organization. He's actually had some settlements taken care of before then. And they obviously don't want that running around the organization, so he's looking to sell. When word got out, Puff hit Twitter and was like, yo, I'm interested in doing this. When he said that, Steph Curry then retweeted and was like, yo, I want a part of this. When he said that, Kaepernick came out and was like, I would like a part of that too. So for all those wealthy people of color, y'all know what y'all got to do. This. If there was any time to make it happen and get the first black ownership a part of the NFL, now's the time to make it happen. There's definitely some means and some resources to get that done. So why not? Go for it.
Take that.
Exactly. Take that. And then in the midst of all the weekend, 5 teams ended up clinching and securing playoff spots. You got the Eagles, Vikings, Patriots, of course. Patriots ended up winning off some. I don't know if you saw that game.
What, the Patriots
Steelers game?
Oh yeah, I saw the last 2 plays.
Man,
I mean, I hate the.
If there was anybody who understood what the Raiders went through last night, it's the Steelers fans. That was a catch, but because of the rule that's in place, it wasn't a catch, and it doesn't make any sense. The ball was over the plane. That's a touchdown. However, the final play of it, I put on Roethlisberger, because at that point, if you see everybody smothered in the end zone on that play, don't throw it. Just throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Don't be a hero. You've been in this. You've won 2 Super Bowls. You know better than that. So you got that. Somebody tried tackling Gronk, and Gronk just threw him off like a damn rag doll. Then he looked at him, and as a touchdown celebration, he just laughed, and then he spiked it.
Yeah, that was funny. He was like, ha ha, ha ha.
Yeah, it was like, I that's exactly what I heard. I imagined him doing the Pee Wee Herman laugh. And he just throws it down.
That's probably what he did.
Yeah.
Other shit happened. Oh, yeah. While you were watching the Raider game, like majority of the Raider game, I was watching WWE's Clash of Champions, still last pay-per-view of the year.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And it started off good. The 2 matches, like the start with the Usos, it was like a fatal 4-way with the Usos. With the Usos, New Day, Rusev and the white boy and these other niggas. It was a long night. But that match was gangster. The whole show was kind of cool, but till, it was alright. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Feel bad for them on Monday because Christmas is literally next week, and they have to fucking do a fucking Christmas show.
Still don't
live.
That. Still do not understand.
Man, what's gonna happen on Monday? It's the NBA. It's gonna be NFL.
First of all, the NBA is all day.
All day.
And
course.
then you got I think it's Steelers and Texans. I know the Texans are for sure playing. I forgot if it's the Steelers or some other team. And then after that, it's Raiders, Eagles.
In Philly?
In Philly. And then again, in the midst of it, you got 5 basketball games spread out from 9 in the morning Pacific time all the way up until damn near 11 o'clock that night.
WWE is going to put on a live show. I still don't get that. You're going to make your wrestlers work on Christmas just to get some ratings. Well, apparently, according to what they're saying, USA Network is making them do it. But still, whatever, man.
I don't understand
I don't get it either.
Whatever. NBA had a little bit of news. See, now we're in the stage of the NBA where now it's about the games.
Yeah.
Like we don't need the drama-filled stuff. Drama's nice, but the games are now propelling the season. But in the midst of that, Triple B's was all in the news all week. First of all, you had LA taking on the Knicks on this past Tuesday. And Lonzo trolled the hell out of New York and Nas. And he showed up with his hoodie. And it was the famous. I don't know if it was Illmatic or if it was written.
I think it was written.
But either way, it was Lonzo's face implemented with the background taking place. Of course, NY and Nas fanatics felt some type of way about it. Me personally, as a big time Nas fan, I ain't had no issues with it. Because look here,
either.
Nas lied to me.
He didn't lie to you.
Nas said my album done 2 years ago.
Well.
That's a liar. That's bone-faced lie.
Hey, you made the prediction say he's got the best.
And that's another reason why I'm upset with him. He said his album was done, so I went out on a limb and said, you know what? Not only is he going to drop his album in 2017, it's going to be the best album that drops in 2017.
He said the best hip-hop album in 2017.
Yeah, guess what?
Well,
ain't nothing dropped.
So
now I ain't got... there's no caping up for Nas for me anymore.
Until he drops that album.
No, I'm done. You had the opportunity. He had the opportunity to do it. Then he gets upset with Lonzo. And in the midst of it, Lonzo ends up dropping 4 tracks.
Okay.
How does Lonzo drop tracks, but you can't? You are the owner of your own record label now, which is Mass Appeal.
Well, probably Nas just didn't really give a damn, and he was probably fucking Nicki.
For what? So then don't announce that your album done.
Well, shit.
So, man, forget him.
Probably, man, you sound so angry.
Yeah, I am. I am.
Who's more mad, me at Nas or you at Nas or me on Eminem?
That's not even a contest. They'll find out why pretty soon.
They'll find out soon.
So they went in there. He actually had a pretty good game. He had 17 points.
Who'd y'all go against?
The Knicks. So he had 17, dropped him out. He had a nasty-ass alley-oop dunk. And he was just... I think he had a stretch. He dropped 8 points in a row or something like that. But... the Knicks got that unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis out here shooting shots like he's Steph Curry.
That dude.
Like, I don't know if you saw the game. The range this motherfucker had, he's like 7'3", and he was shooting from the same spot Steph Curry was shooting from, like 25 and 28 feet away. And there were nothing but net.
This nigga's a beast, man.
Like, it was ridiculous. He's the first player, I think, to put up 35, 10, and then there was something else. Like, out of all...
Didn't Phil Jackson draft him?
Yeah, it was like one of the rare good things Phil did while he was in New York. So, of course, they ended up taking the game. In the midst of that, the Lakers asked LeVar to kind of tone it down with his talks on Luke. Since then, he's pretty much toned it.
For now.
For now. Mainly his attention's now on Jello and Melo, who last week said that they were in the midst of signing deals to go to Lithuania to play ball. Which was actually cool was
Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah, that's why I just touched on
it.
Yeah. Which was funny because one more thing about the Knicks-Lakers game was he and Spike were talking trash with each other pretty much the game.
Yeah.
And then when it got to OT, they just looked at each other, laughed, and had this big-ass bro hug. And I remember watching that, and I was like, LeVar just got him a place, and she's got to have it season 2.
Did she finish that season?
No, I haven't. I've been so busy with other stuff.
Okay, cool.
And then everybody was putting the pictures up, and so I put one. I was like, that's a Spike Triple B joint.
Spike Triple B. Wow, bro.
So then LeVar ended up doing, again, so LeVar's out doing his run. Like, I think it's incredible. It seems like everywhere the Lakers go, LeVar and the crew are just right there.
I don't know how he has the time to do all that shit. That's crazy to me.
Oh, he's got his own schedule because he's got his own business. He's self-made.
True, I know, but still to take care of the watch over the kids and then Lonzo and...
I mean, when you start, again, everybody was laughing at this Triple B's at the top of the year, and it seems like it's recouping a lot of income. So you're able to make it happen.
Well, I get his thing now.
So he went to Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, how was that one? I didn't watch that interview.
It was interesting. It was well articulate. He made a great point that people don't fear him because he's a loudmouth. People fear what he stands for because he's a black man in this position where he has his kids who have this talent and he's going to capitalize on it.
And he can back it up.
Yeah, and there was no lie in what he said. I mean, that's basically what it is because you have there's a lot of examples of white fathers being in the same position. They're just not loudmouths, but they're doing the exact same things. I think it's Bryce Harper, who plays for the Nationals. His father took him out of and had him homeschooled for baseball. And nobody bats an eye about that. And Bryce Harper's now about to sign probably the most lucrative contract this next offseason since Alex Rodriguez. So what's the issue there? You know what I mean? Another interesting thing that got brought up, but it pissed me off, was Stephen A. Smith.
Oh yeah, that
was
nigga.
So they asked Leangelo. So Charlamagne asked Leangelo, about the whole the theft situation in China, and when it came up about Trump, Leangelo said, they basically told me go out there and say thank you at the press conference. That's why I thanked him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said anything. So the next day, Stephen A. Smith is on his radio show. And he makes this stupid ass comment that I turned the radio off after that. I was like, I'm not listening to him. Basically what he was saying was, his whole stance was, if somebody helps you and it benefits you, you say thank you. Doesn't matter. And to a certain extent, I did kind of agree with it. I wasn't going to go that far when it comes to Trump because you can't pinpoint or prove that this was actually based on Trump's involvement.
Call him hoe ass nigga in my presence.
Whatever. So then, all of a sudden, Stephen A. just flips the script, and he's like, now, I don't care if it was the KKK that helped you out. You could still be disgusted by their acts, but you still say thank you because you benefited from it. And as soon as he said that, I turned that shit all the way off.
Coon-ass niggas. So where you at now, bro?
Yeah, like, it was just one of them things where it's like, man, Skip Bayless leaving ESPN really exposed the light on you.
Oh, we forgot one other side note. Is that it for sports? Or is
Nah, there's a little bit more.
Okay, 'cause I was about to say something that happened with Omarosa and shit.
Go ahead.
When she got kicked. A little side note. Yeah, Omarosa got fired. Yeah, that's a little side note about a whole ass nigga. Omarosa got fired from the White House.
Yeah, and then she, try to have a sob story. I tried to do everything I could for black people.
Oh, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
From what the report said, they were getting tired of your whole ass over there, so they literally fired her ass, and she showed up trying to get in and shit like that, and her card wasn't working, and then when they were escorting her out, she was cussing up a storm.
I found that funny that everybody that's left so far has been white, but when it came to the black person, it's like, nah, you fired. Get the hell out of here. So LeVar and the boys did that, and then finally wrapping up the Triple B side of things. The following Thursday night, so when we Star Wars opener, Cavs and Lakers played against each other, which was the first time LeBron played against Lonzo. Played decent. LeBron out here easily found the fountain of youth. He looks like he's in his 6th year. It's not.
How old is LeBron now?
It's like 32 or 33.
Damn.
But it's not even his age. It's how long he's been in the NBA. It's year 15.
I know.
Looks like it's year 6.
He's still putting up record-breaking numbers.
Dude, he just this past weekend he put up back-to-back triple doubles.
That's nothing to him now. It's like it's normal to us now. It's like whatever. Like I can't even get excited no more. It's like when Kobe was playing when he did it. It was like it's whatever. Okay.
Yeah, after a while when Kobe was doing certain things.
Same with Jordan. When Jordan was doing it, it was like whatever.
Okay. We call that trio the Le Jorbe.
What?
Le Jorbe for LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe.
Le Jorbe.
Le Jorbe.
Le Jorbe.
Yeah. So after that's a good. So after the game, LeBron went up and had at the time was trying to keep it a personal conversation with Lonzo because just basically saying I've been in your shoes. The light's been on me since I was coming out of high school around your age. I know what it's like. Just keep doing you. Mm-hmm. He was trying to keep it quiet and personal, but microphones caught it, and of course it becomes a story, which then just further reflects everything about LeBron. He can't win in any given situation because then people want to talk about this, but had he not said anything to Lonzo and just walked off the court, that still would have been a story. Didn't they already
break that down, saying that he just pretty much gave him advice and shit like that?
Yeah, it's just, just keep doing you.
Why does he do that anyway when he covers his mouth and do that?
Because he don't want people to see, because then people are going to try to turn it into something that it ain't. It's part of heel LeBron, man. I love heel LeBron. It's amazing. Bring heel LeBron to LA. It's a long shot. Bring heel LeBron to LA.
I think he's coming to LA.
Nah, it's still a long shot. It's a pipe dream, but we can dream. My focus is on Boogie and Paul George.
But you know damn well.
But throw the Hail Mary for LeBron.
You know damn well if LeBron shows up, he ain't gonna have none of that LeVar Ball shit. You know that for a fact.
Oh, if LeBron shows, you probably gonna see some King James Triple B
collaborations.
Yeah, most definitely.
No, but if shit gets bad and LeVar talking loud, LeBron ain't gonna have that.
Oh no, that's something they'll all hash up. I honestly, I could see all three of them just chilling in the back, eating barbecue, just laughing at it all, just running the world.
You know I'm getting the ball more, right? You know your son's trash, right?
And then I'm just laughing it all through it off. But speaking of Paul George and Melo, so they're both with OKC. On their current road trip, they actually made their visits back to Indy and New York. They won their game in Indy.
And then
Paul George only had about 12 points, so it really wasn't that much of a big return. They went back to New York.
And New York welcomed Melo with open hands and everything.
And then New York was like, yeah, but we still better than you.
We're going to give you these hands. Bro.
Yeah, and they actually whooped their ass badly.
Badly.
And somebody, I don't know if you saw the picture of Lala.
Yep, giving him that death stare.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just the picture worth 1,000 words. But then somebody also ran Melo's stat line. He had he was 5 for 18.
Jeez.
It took an L, and somebody was like, yeah, that's just another night for Melo in the Garden.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was like, damn, that's bad. You don't have to do him like that.
Yep.
And then to close out basketball talk, Indy is going to get the 2021 All-Star Game. So in back-to-back years...
2020?
2021, because the Bulls got 2020. So in back-to-back years, you're going to be freezing at the All-Star Game if anybody wants to decide
to go. Who has
to go.
2019?
I'm not sure now that you think about it.
Yeah, because I know because
actually, that's a good question.
LA
got it this year.
Yeah, why don't y'all do your research? Yeah, man. So I've been getting over a cold this whole weekend, and I had to tough it out at the Jay-Z concert.
Charlotte. So remember, Charlotte gave it up because of the bathroom shit.
Bathroom shit.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, they did give it up.
They had to resign it for this past last year's All-Star game. So in return, they get it next year.
Okay, makes sense.
No, continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, that was it. I was just saying I was feeling like shit the entire game. I remember I wasted my entire energy because I lose my mind every time You Don't Know drops. So when I heard those when it mixed with higher and you heard high, and then you heard dun, 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 turn my music high. I just screamed like
I got the snaps to prove it.
I screamed. Ha! 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 Yeah! And then I was done after that.
You look just like Luke. Like you're given all the rest of your life, and then
I became one with the Force.
You became one with the Rock.
Became one with the Rock. just imagine that. Just when the moonlight's up there, I just do this, and it just disappear. You see my fucking hoodie fly away and shit.
Now to close out sports, so there's side note. Like I said, we really don't cover baseball, but there was a big groundbreaking shake.
Yeah, with the Lakers.
No,
with
the
Yankees.
The Yankees.
Lakers. I guess they got them monsters with baseball.
Yeah, I can't even remember the old boy's name now.
I just know Yankee fans were losing their damn mind because they pretty much got the monsters on their team now, and pretty much baseball is just like fuck. The Yankees are a big ass monster coming into town.
Yeah, so Giancarlo Stanton, who was the reigning MVP, pretty much got gift wrapped to the Yankees for some peanuts and some Cracker Jacks.
Damn.
Like basically, and I want to laugh, but that's basically what ended up taking place.
They said they're thanking Derek Jeter for that. I guess it was his.
So Miami's pissed off because they're feeling like they got finessed once again, so they got trust issues with that. But as a result, the taxpayers, I don't know if it's the state or if it's the tourists, but somebody paying for that damn stadium that nobody asked for.
What stadium?
The one in Miami.
Oh.
So that took place. I don't know if you remember this story about the ex-basketball player Lorenzen Wright who was murdered.
I saw that shit on Twitter. I saw that video.
Shit just got even more
that shit
disgusting.
Got crazy.
So back in 2010, they found Lorenzen Wright, who used to play for the Grizzlies and I think a couple other teams. Found his lifeless body, and they always had suspected the ex-wife, but they didn't have evidence to pinpoint it.
Mm-hmm.
When they went back, they kept researching the crime scene over the years, and they were like, "We got to figure it out because it all comes. Some things were missing."
Mm-hmm.
Once they figured it out and they had the evidence, they went and they got the deacon from a church. The deacon came out and was like, "Yeah, I did it, and she was the mastermind behind it that put me up to it."
Pretty much 50 Cent shit. Yeah, she did it. Guilty as shit.
Yeah. Whatever she said, she did that shit.
What made it crazier is that Sports Illustrated posted a clip of when after he died, they did. And they asked her the question, "Did you have anything to do with the murder?" And she had this little stone cold look on her face, and she didn't even answer the question. The first thing she said was, "Well, first things first. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am this, and the police will have to do what they have to do." She said something similar like that, and she didn't answer the question. They asked her twice, and she didn't answer the question, and she said it very cryptically.
Right.
And then years later, it comes out.
Because then what happened was a part of the new evidence that they found, they also realized that when she collected on the insurance policy, which was for $1 million, it didn't go to the kids.
That bitch is crazy, man.
Yeah, so lock her up for the rest of eternity, dude. Like that's that disgusting shit. Like somebody that you were supposed to trust and somebody you share kids with, and then now you got a deacon from the church involved. Like, come on, man.
That's shady.
Yeah, no aftermath. Jose Canseco, former baseball player, he got fired over some tweets. Yeah, I mean, they're funny, but they're not funny. So if you actually care, I want you to just go experience it for yourself. I don't want to go to, but he got fired over some tweets. No. Just further explain why he's a dumbass. It just got reported a few hours ago that ESPN president John Skipper, he's actually resigning from his position. He's citing substance abuse.
Damn.
As that. So prayers up to him.
Yeah, get that help, bro.
Gets over that. And then finally, Kyrie Irving.
You kept saying finally a lot about the sports stuff.
Whatever. Finally. Finally! Kyrie Irving, a.k.a. Baby Mamba. He dropped his Irving 4s. And, he's on this woke shit because, he's saying the earth's flat. He recently became a vegan. He's staying woke on a bunch of other stuff. So why won't he have the first edition Air Wokes? In the tongue of the sneaker, he has the all-seeing eye. And the all-seeing eye is supposed to represent challenging everybody to seek their own answers beyond the ones that are given to us by books, media, and the internet.
So in other words, in the words of Big Mamba, you're welcome.
Yeah. Now, I don't know all about that, but if them airwokes can help me cross out a motherfucker the way Lil' Kim was looking at her concert.
What do you mean looking at her concert?
Remember how she was gigging?
She does that at all of them.
Whatever. Her concerts. The way she was doing that broke ass robot diddy shim and robot whatever she was doing. If them shoes can make me do that to a regular Joe at the 24, yeah, I'll pick them up with quickness. Don't worry about it. I got you there.
That's you.
Now entertainment. Some quick things.
Some little things.
Jada Pinkett Smith, she spoke out about her displeasure with Girls Trip being snubbed.
Being snubbed. That is some bullshit.
Yeah, not it wasn't even the fact, and she said it perfectly. It wasn't even the fact that we didn't get an award nomination. It's the fact they wouldn't even look at and screen the film after it was number one at the box office.
And critically acclaimed.
And
it was bullshit. And what's bullshit about it, also about the number one thing she said is how they considered Get Out to be a comedy, which is still crazy to me when you think about it. And they don't want to, and they didn't consider the Big Sick as one of them. And one movie that I've seen that's nominated for Golden Globe for Best Picture is 3 Billboards Off Wisconsin or whatever, or Missouri. I forgot what it's called. But I saw that movie. And that movie is nominated in the drama department, but that shit's a dark comedy. And it's a really good movie, but they didn't put it in the fucking what's it called? They didn't put it in the nomination section or whatever for best comedy or whatever, because they have the Disaster Artist in that shit. And the Disaster Artist is a real good movie, by the way. It's a lot of good movies, and there's a whole bunch of top politics that goes on in Hollywood and shit like that. I don't know. It's fucked up for Jada Pinkett. Oh, not fucked up for Jada Pinkett. It's just fucked up how there's still racism is still being alive in Hollywood and shit like that.
Yeah.
And also, when we can touch on that, like Terry Crews, yeah, I don't know if you've been catching up with his tweets, man, but they after his ass. You been catching up with that shit?
Nah.
Yeah, man, that dude's posting tweets saying how ever since he's pretty much came out about the Hollywood executive that touched his dick and shit, pretty much they're low-key coming after him. People in Hollywood are coming after him and shit like that. He even posted a tweet saying that the LAPD even told him that these people don't play fair. And shit, the LAPD is telling these people don't play fair. What the fuck? They're hacking
Terry Crews at all costs.
Yeah, they're hacking into his computer. They're doing hell of shit. Almost like no black actors are wanting to help him or anything. It's like they're coming after his ass. And he said, if anything happens to me, you know what happened. So shit, Illuminati got trying to get his mind, soul, in his body, trying to shut him up.
Yeah. So there's that net neutrality.
Well, that shit, yeah. Pretty much in a nutshell, the FCC voted to repeal net neutrality, which means they could go in there. They could pretty much go in certain aspects and pretty much slow your internet speed down. Well, if you want full internet, you got to pay more. You could pay more for it, and the internet was pretty much up in arms about that shit. In my eyes, I wasn't really that mad about it. I know this is a really bad thing that could happen, but California and a whole bunch of other states are suing the FCC, and it has to go through a whole other process for it to really become law and shit like that. So, I don't know. It's whatever. It's not. It shouldn't be whatever for me, but I'm not tripping about it that bad because after y'all fucking elected that little hoe ass nigga in office, that was gonna fucking happen. So now you gotta fucking learn with it. All you niggas on Twitter are going like, oh my god, why is Twitter free? Well, the FCC said bet. So
basically,
yeah. So enjoy while you can. Watch all the porn you can. Illegally download all your movies that you can. Do everything that you can because yeah, they're trying to tax our asses.
Hey man.
I'm not really I don't feel
we found a way to get our music without paying. We found a way to get our movies without paying. We will find a way to get our internet without paying. These nerds will figure it out real quick, man. So that's why I wasn't really tripping about it. You can't stop the internet. The internet is just free for everybody. They will find a way. Just like Jurassic Park, life will find a way. Oh yeah, they showed the trailer for the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World. You watched it with me, remember? Yeah, I remember. I'm not really big on Jurassic Park.
What? You tripping?
Like, I've only seen combined out of all of them, like, what are they, 5 now? The fifth one's about to come out?
It's 3.
Because, well, the first one's the Jurassic World.
No,
there's
Jurassic,
4.
There's
no, I'm talking about
Park.
the whole franchise combined. There's 4,
Jurassic
right?
Park 1, 2, 3, and then this one's the 4th one, yeah.
And the 5th one's coming out?
Next year, yeah.
So, out of the 4, I've seen all of them 4 times.
All of them 4 times?
Like, I've watched each one once.
Once? Damn, most would.
I'm not
like you for
not
that.
in Jurassic Park, just not.
I guess. Well, yeah, at the same time, it is white folks, and it's just like they tell you not to fucking recreate these dinosaurs because bad shit happens, and they did it 4 times in a row. So, whatever.
Yeah. Ocean's 8 poster came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and I guess it's gonna be with Nicki Minaj, not Nicki Minaj, Rihanna. I don't know why I thought of Nicki. I was thinking of the next topic, but it happened with Rihanna, Sandra Bullock, and who else is in there?
Mindy from The Office.
Okay.
I'm down for that. Anne Hathaway's in it.
Ooh, Anne Hathaway.
I have no idea who Kate Blanchett is. I probably do.
Blanchett?
But,
she's been in hella movies.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention. So basically, what they're doing is
the female version of Ocean's 11.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not a remake. Sandra Bullock is actually playing Danny Ocean's estranged sister.
I guess.
So that actually intrigued me enough to say, okay, I'm going to actually
give this a chance. George Clooney have any input in it? Is he executive producing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's interesting.
But yeah, because that was my thing. Was like, okay, is this a remake or are they just going to select?
So it's a spin-off in a way.
Yeah.
But having Rihanna in there, that's a good look for her.
Right. So you got Sarah Paulson. I don't know who the hell Aquafina is, but
the drink, the water.
Nah, it's she's a rapper, and comedian, and TV personality, and a television host.
Oh damn! Fuck us.
And her name's Aquafina. She's our age. I'm about to look her up later.
Okay.
But shout out to her. She's in it. I mean, hell, with a name like that, you got to be in it.
And it's one word too. It's like no last name, like Rihanna, Zendaya, Beyonce. You know.
So I'm intrigued by it enough to say I want to go see that. Ray Strummer. They said they dropping Strum Life 3 right after the new year.
Why do they always have to announce it, man? I hate when rappers do that shit.
I don't know, but you know how the game goes.
They need to come up with other names now because now you get into the third one, you become a one-track minded.
Well, I think this was the final one, and then we're gonna get the Sway Lee solo.
Sway Lee needs to just drop his solo project instead of.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Fuck all that.
But whatever. Again, same thing with Lorenzen Wright. There's 2 suspects that have been arrested in connection with Chinks' murder from.
Yeah, they say it's one of his homeboys that did it. That's fucked up.
Messed up. And then finally, what you got confused on just a few segments ago, Nicki Minaj, your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite rapper of all time. Hi, Barbs. Well, apparently, after Eminem's album dropped, he had to dominate the charts and shit like that. So Nicki decided to post a screenshot of the top songs on iTunes, and it was predominantly white. So the first caption she posted was, "Oh, it feels good to be a white rapper, huh?" But the thing was that Motorsport. I can't even say it with my lazy ass tongue. You know the song with her and Cardi and Migos. That song was at number 5 or 6 or whatever. But the songs above her, they're all white people. It's from MGK, G-Eazy, and Post Malone. And I think there's another rapper up there too, another white rapper. But she was like, "Oh, it feels good to have a white rapper to be up there, huh?" And then after that she edited and she posted what else did she post? She was all going like, yeah, like I shout out to M and Post Malone, those are my favorites, and she tried to be on some woke shit and try to speak out for white supremacy and all this other shit, but it's like, Nicki, shut the fuck up. She's always she's always looking at charts and she's always trying to bring up the feminist shit, because damn well if she was on that Eminem record with Ed Sheeran, she won't say a damn word about that shit.
Not a damn thing.
She would just be boasting about like, oh my god, I'm so blessed to be number 1. Oh, basic bitch, shut up. Oh, Nicki's just tired of that bitch, man. Oh, why do you hate Nicki? For reasons like that. That's why. Always doing that shit. Always when it doesn't benefit her, because Motorsport's at number 6 right now on the charts. It's gonna crack the top 5, and when it cracks the top 5, she's gonna be gloating about it. Cardi's gonna be like whatever. But Cardi made history being the first woman to have all her songs debuted on the Billboard Top 10.
Yeah.
So. It's funny how Nicki didn't shout out G-Eazy. I was like, yeah, because G-Eazy has that song with Cardi B called No Limit, one of the best records out right now. Fuck with me and get some money. Come on, man. Nicki's just one jealous ass, animosity ass bitch, man, at the end of the day. I hope her album drops. And then Nicki fans can be mad the same way I'm mad at Eminem right now.
You just about ready to get to that now?
Not now. We can get to the other ones.
Well, now it's review time.
It's review time.
Review time?
We save it.
Review time, at the same time, mail time just take place. So, of course, we're doing this in my old bachelor pad back at home.
Hell yeah.
And which was the garage, and, of course, the mail slots here. And as soon as I said that, Mail time.
Mail time.
So let's start off with
One
of our favorites, man. Just he's on everybody's underrated, if not their best. Black Thought, G.
Oh, the fucking freestyle. Yeah.
So Black Thought visited Hot 97. DJ ended up spinning the infamous Mobb Deep track, the instrumental for The Learning. Mm-hmm. And what we got was gold for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes, non-stop bars. Black Thought was rapping his ass off.
What I appreciate about that is somebody said it best on Twitter. They were saying for the folks who are trying to downplay this freestyle, it's just quite simple. We've been surrounded by the fake for so long that when you actually see something that's real, you can't downplay it at all.
Yep.
And that's what it was.
Rapped his ass off on that shit. I'm like, it wasn't surprising to me because Black Thought is one of my underrated MCs too. It just sucks that he never really broke away from the roots and dropped his own album. And right. I can understand he's loyal to the band and all that, but he needs to give us an album, man. He's getting old. He's getting up there. He needs to drop at least one album.
I think they're good now. Considering, so he did the interview afterwards, full 24 hours later with Jimmy Fallon.
Because he saw how big that was.
Right.
Even though I kind of, honestly, side note, I look at Jimmy Fallon pretty sideways ever since he had a whole ass nigga on his show.
Yeah.
But, go on.
But hey, same time, he put arguably one of the greatest acts on as the house band, so.
Yeah, and then he also had Trump on there rubbing his fucking toupee. Fuck out of here, Jimmy.
But what he was saying was that they're actually getting into executive producing some TV shows now. Like they got one that's coming out on AMC pretty soon.
Well, good. That's the Roots.
So if you're looking for a Black Thought solo album, it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, the Roots were also the theme song for WWE's Clash of Champions.
That's what's up.
Pretty dope.
There was a line in the midst of all this, just great bars after bar after bar. There was a line that I wanted to highlight around the 720 mark. I am a walking affirmation that imagination and focus and patience gets you closer to your aspirations.
Jesus.
Now I can't make it sound as good because I'm not doing it at the same cadence.
But the way he was,
he put that in though, because I finally got an opportunity to listen to it on the way to the Jay-Z show, just because again I've been busy with traveling and then just other stuff. My reactions were pretty much the same as Flex. For sure. Like, just ugly faces left and right. So shout out to Black Thought on that. Next one was N.E.R.D. No one ever really dies, and both of us just came to the agreement. This was just sound in the background.
It was background music, man. It was the most overhyped shit. Everyone was just so excited for N.E.R.D to drop their first album in, like, I don't know how many years. Ever since it was announced, when Lemon dropped with Rihanna, everyone was losing their damn minds. And
Lemon was cool, but it wore off right away after I heard it. You know what I'm saying?
I was over it.
Dope when I heard it, and then after I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna revisit it. And it's just Pharrell. And Pharrell always, I think why people are so excited because they're excited that it was the first album back, and they wanted that nostalgia feeling. They wanted that N.E.R.D that they heard. Like, what was the last one? In My Mind. That was a Pharrell album, right?
Yeah.
What was the last N.E.R.D album?
I don't even
The
remember.
Clones? Whatever. One of those albums.
I don't even think it was that. I think The Clones was
Neptunes, yeah. I'm trying to think what their album was called. I forgot. It was their first. That was the one with the that shit. And yeah, everyone just wanted to get that album. They wanted that sound. But the thing about Pharrell, he doesn't think about the past. He thinks about the future. So his album sounded like 2300. His album was futuristic. And granted, Rihanna had great features. Wale had a great feature. Kendrick, Andre 3000, they all did their thing. But it was just blah to me.
Yeah,
it was.
The thing of it is that
like Girl was better than this, to be honest.
Yeah, this was another solo album. But see, what I brought up to you was, he had Kendrick on 2 tracks and he had Andre 3000, and I wasn't really paying attention. Like, I tried to pay attention, but it was like, all right.
Because the production overpowered it, damn
right.
I don't know what else you offer. What? There ain't no more to it. Yeah, so let's go to something else happy. G-Eazy dropped his
G-Eazy dropped, which we both were excited for.
I was interested in it because he said he filmed a movie for it and he did all this other stuff. And I was thinking the whole album was going to be a big concept. And it was just nothing more than a regular-ass G-Eazy album to me.
It started off good. So yeah, pray for me and him and I with Halsey.
Yep.
Of course, my favorite joint, No Limit.
Of course, everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Big record from that.
And then as soon as we got done with Pick Me Up going into Goddamn, that's when I was like, oh, this is literally a tale of two sides. Because the second half of it was just so underwhelming.
It was like a chore to listen to.
And really, the first half of it wasn't. I'm not gonna say the first half was bad. I enjoyed the first half.
Yeah.
But the first half wasn't like that big, extravagant sound to say. Well, the second half was underwhelming, but you can meet in the middle. It was you know what I mean. Yeah.
And it was 19 tracks. Was it like 19
20.
tracks? 20 tracks. So if you got 20 tracks, you better come with some heat, man.
Right.
At least. Especially if you drop in the same day as another fucking certain white rapper, you better come with that heat. Because he could have had a chance to have the best album out of it. But no, he dropped the ball just like Marshall. But we'll get to him in a bit. And I know y'all waiting for it. Anyway, so and after G-Eazy dropped, Jeezy dropped.
Chisel. So, my favorite rapper's favorite trapper went ahead and he dropped his album Pressure and Vintage Jeezy.
That's pretty much what this album was.
And so for the hardcore Jeezy fans, we already know it's not a Jeezy album unless the first track got them signature sounding ass horns to let you know what time it is. And the opening track, Spider, the horns was banging, the reverb and the delays was cracking, and we was ready to go. And it jumped right into Cold Summer with T Grizzly, and then in a major way with Payroll Giovanni. That's really the first time I ever heard of Payroll Giovanni, and he actually he put in a good verse, and I was like, I want to know more about this cat. When it got to Floor Seats, This Is It, and Bottles Up, that's when I got nervous. Because it was this wave of just tracks where I was like, oh, I don't know about this, because it's starting to hit that blah type feeling. Yeah. Even with 2 Chainz and his chemistry, I just was not feeling the production, and I did not like the hook. Then we got to the Valet interlude, and I got pissed off. Not because it was bad.
It was too damn good and it was short.
Yeah, it was a minute 58, and I'm like, wait, because it starts coming in, and I'm like, okay, I can rock with this. And all of a sudden it starts fading out, and I'm like, wait, no, where are you going? No.
It was like, well, what do you think was worse? Beach is Better with Hove or this song?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Because Beach is Better, that was purposely short. You could tell there was more to that song.
Beach is Better was more gratifying. Because he did a lot in such a little amount of time.
Less than 1 minute.
And you wanted more as a result of it. This one, you wanted more because it was just, wait, there's more to go. Like, come on, man, finish this. So then I was like, man. Then we got to Respect, and Respect from that point, it just started picking back up to what I thought was, so we're all anticipating, which we'll get to, American Dream being the highlight. To me, the highlight of this was Pressure. Yeah. With Kodak Black and YG. That G-Funk ass production. And then Kodak actually delivering a nice verse. And then YG just coming in and stealing the damn show. Riding that beat. Just the only way a West Coast artist could do. It's amazing.
I felt American Dream was a little bit better just off Cole's verse alone.
Right, but it was... We'll get to that. Because Like Them and The Life were 2 of those big production-ass dynamic sounds. And all the features on that fit well. Tory Lanez and Rick Ross had good chemistry with them. Oh, yeah. And then WizKid out of nowhere.
Him and Rick Ross are like doing tracks like nothing together.
Oh, it's amazing. I know. Should have been doing it a long time ago, but it is what it is.
I know, right?
I didn't know much about WizKid before this, but WizKid, man, that was a dope-ass contribution he laid. And then hearing Trey Songz, I'm like, shit, that's right. Trey Songz actually did drop an album this year. I forgot.
Yeah, it don't matter. It was forgettable.
So then we get to American Dream.
Cole rapped his ass off on that. It was vintage mixtape. It was warm-up mixtape Cole on that. Yeah. And people were disappointed about Kendrick because all he really did was just rap a bridge. And it looked like he was about to rap, and then it just ended.
I was cool with it.
Me too. It was just Kendrick just held back. Everyone was... I remember people were telling me that went to the session. They were DMing me, texting me saying, oh, shit, Kendrick J. Cole washed Kendrick. And I was like, okay. Like, y'all... Because y'all know I'm a Kendrick fan. Y'all expect me to fucking react to that? Like, I don't care. J. Cole's cool. And I heard the record, and J. Cole rapped his ass off. Kendrick just held back.
I don't even think necessarily he held back. I think he was just like, I'm just going to vibe to this. Because y'all already... Like, because the thing of it is that if you actually listen to Jeezy's verse, that was Thug Motivation 101 Jeezy. Like, that was Trapper Die Jeezy. Like, he held his own. And then Cole, like you said, Cole came in with the mixtape verse. So from Kendrick's point of view, it's just like, what's the point? Let's just ride. Like, let's just vibe.
Because you know I'll destroy all of y'all. You know I'll destroy all of y'all on this if I really want to, but I want to be nice to you guys. I think that's because I guess the fans didn't get what they want, like some fucking Star Wars fans. But
and then it closed out with Snow Season, which was a nice way to close it out.
Yeah,
so overall,
it's just I didn't like how it faded out.
I mean, overall, I appreciated this record. I enjoyed it. It was a good record. Now, are you ready?
No.
No. I said, are you ready?
No.
Well, for the millions of stands all across the globe. Let's get ready to trash it! Eminem. Revival. The floor is yours. I'm not going to talk for a while. This is your time to talk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now, mind you, before you talk, I just want to remind the listeners all over who listen to us that we pushed our list back one extra week so we could try to fit this album in. And at the end of the day, the album isn't even on the list because it didn't even make that pushback. So that is why you're getting one more original content episode before we decide to give you another episode solely with our list. But continue.
Y'all know I'm an Eminem fan. Y'all know this. If y'all followed me on Twitter for the longest time. Stan. I'm not crazy Stan. I'm not gonna go and write him letters every damn day and shit like that, but why he ain't writing to me. But I've made it process to really support Eminem on everything he does, because I hold him near and dear to me, like from my childhood and shit like that. And I've listened to him from Slim Shady to the Eminem Show, pretty much throughout everything. And the one album I really hold really near and dear to my heart during the second half of his career, during his comeback, was Relapse. Now, why do I hold Relapse near and dear to me? Because he was gone for 4 years, and it was the longest time we ever went without hearing Slim Shady and all that original content and shit, right? So, when I heard Relapse, he rapped exactly, he came back exactly how I wanted him to be. I wanted him to be Slim Shady. He was comfortable being Slim Shady. That's who he was. And I hold it near and dear to me because at his core, Relapse is exactly who Eminem is. All right? So then Recovery and all that shit came out and, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I like Recovery was all right, but it was too mainstream. It was mainstream M. M kept who he was, but it was just mainstream. Marshall Mathers LP 2, I've went on record, and I'll say it once, I'll say it again, that should have been his last album. He went back and closed off everything. And I even went on Twitter and I said, when Revival was about to come out, and I heard Walk on Water, me and JC said it was really but I can understand it should not have been the first single. Am I right, JC?
Yeah, that's right.
It should not have been the first single at all. So I kicked back. So pretty much, when the album was about to come out, I kicked back and I went on Twitter and I said that if Relapse was him facing his demons, Recovery is him overcoming his demons, and the Marshall Mathers LP 2 was finding closure, Revival, he's going to be refreshed and he's going to start new. So, Untouchable came out. I was very about that, but it was kind of cool. The track list came out. I was worried. And then the whole reports about it, and I was worried. So, the album dropped, or it leaked first, and I go on Twitter, and everybody and their mama's dissing it, including core Eminem fans that like Relapse like me. Core Eminem fans. And they were telling me, because I couldn't listen to it at the time, they were telling me, this isn't that good, bro. On first listen, I'm not going to re-listen to this. And I was like, okay, maybe they're being too fucking harsh on this. And these are people that listen to Eminem like how I listen to him, and they say, this isn't really that good. People saying how trash it was. So, all right. So I get home, I download the album, and I was scared. But I listened to Walk on Water. It was cool. I was like, okay, whatever. And then you go right into Believe. And M's rapping his ass off like always. I'm like, okay, this is the Marshall I know. This is the Eminem I know and shit like that. Then we get the Chloroseptic with Fresher. And it was a different flow. The hook was just like kind of very Migos-like. But it was like, okay, I can deal with this. Then we get to Untouchable. And then we get to the Ed Sheeran single with River, and then I was like, okay, this is really mainstream. And then we get to Remind Me, and then I'm just like, And then we get to fucking Like Home, which should have been the first single, but I'm still very, And then Bad Husband, and then I'm not liking the way this shit's going. And this is on my first listen. I'm just listening to it sonically and his verses and shit, and nothing was hitting me. Nothing like how his previous albums hit me. Nothing was hitting me. And then the production just sounded so very popish and rockish. And it's like, this isn't an Eminem album. What the fuck is this shit? I couldn't. And then it's just and then it got to the point midway through. I think when I got to, I'll say, Need Me with Pink, which has absolutely no business being on an Eminem album. That song Need Me with Pink has absolutely no reason to be on an Eminem album. Maybe a Pink album, but it has no reason being on that shit. I started tuning out, and I never did that on an Eminem album before. Never. Never in my life have I ever tuned out on an Eminem album. And I'm just sitting back like, what happened to my boy? So, excuse me, I'm trying to get over this cold. I'm like really just like in shock. And what really frustrates me the most, because I tell JC the same shit about Eminem. I always tell him, he tells me that he doesn't have it no more. And I'm like, no, he doesn't when he wants to. And clear examples of when he wants to is Framed, Offended, and the last two tracks, Castle and A Rose. On those tracks, he is focused, he's staying on topic, and he's doing, like, especially with Framed and Offended, he's on that Slim Shady shit, and he's just rapping. And this is exactly, and it's Eminem at his core. And it's just like, yes, this is who you are. Stay like this. Especially on Believe, that's Eminem. It's just like, okay, just stay that. Just, why couldn't you just build the album around this shit? You know what I mean? And then when it got to the last two tracks, like Castle and A Rose, which is like a message to his daughter and pretty much talking about his death and shit like that, those were fucking amazing. But it didn't make up for the rest of the album. And then I just sat back, as when I was done listening to it, I just sat back and I didn't know how to feel about it. I was like, is this really trash? Is this really bad? And then I had to sleep on it. And the next morning, I was like, this was fucking trash. I listened to some trash ass shit. And when we were waiting in line to see Star Wars, I told JC, this album offended me. As an Eminem fan, this album offended me because this isn't who he is. I'm like, nah, my nigga, this is not you. This is like, what the fuck? Like, you dropped the ball on this shit. You really dropped the ball. And when you have all these great albums from Kendrick Lamar, from his label mate Kendrick Lamar, from Jay-Z dropping 444, he should have came in and cleaned house and let people remind people on who the fuck he is. This album, it had no direction. Revival had absolutely no direction. He was talking about love for 4 songs, then he's talking about fuck Trump for like a few songs, and then he's saying some other bullshit over some other random shit. It was literally all over the place, and I don't know what his goal was for this album. Like, was he just trying to get out of his Interscope sound contract? I don't know what was going on, and it just boggled my mind because it was like, dude, you can rap. And this is like the second day. I remember when I was waiting for JC, I was gonna re-listen to the album, but I couldn't bring myself to listen to it, so I listened to the Marshall Mathers LP, the first one, when everything made sense, and I started crying. Well, not really. I didn't start crying, but I was angry. Am I right, JC?
You did start crying.
I didn't start crying, nigga.
You had that Denzel and Glory, that single tear. Like that album was just whooping your ass. You couldn't do much, but just let that one single tear just fly down.
Anyway, but JC was always telling me he don't got it no more. And I'm just like, yes, he does have it. I hear it in the album. But when I say when he feels like it, it's just for songs, not for a whole album. He doesn't have it for a whole album no more. And that really, it pained me as a fan. I couldn't defend this shit. I remember back in the day when Encore dropped, I was defending it. And when you look back on it, it made me appreciate Encore a little bit more. Because even when he was on drugs and he was on some goofy shit, he still put out a halfway decent album. But this shit, you're sober? It was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Shit. And me and JC just had this whole conversation because I was just so angry. And I couldn't even bring myself to listen to the album again. So then when I was sick, when we were on our way to the Jay-Z concert, I went back because I just wanted to just really sit back and listen to it, including reading the lyrics from Genius, when all the lyrics were up there. And I actually listened to it, especially just mainly his lyrics, because I guess the production was what really turned me off. And when I was really listening to it, he was spitting. M was spitting his ass off. There was some corny ass lines on there. A lot of them escaped my mind. JC would probably remind me, but there was some very corny lines on there. But he was spitting. He was experimenting with his flows and shit. My only gripe with it is just the production. It was too poppy for me. And it was just like, dude, this isn't you. This whole time, back in 2000, when you were on the Marshmallows LP and you were dissing all these pop stars and people were calling you pop, you literally became a pop star. Like, they sound very stadium status shit, especially Need Me. I'm still stuck on that track because it's like the audacity of them putting that song on an Eminem album. This is the same dude who made Kim. He made Kim. Now bleed, bitch, bleed that Eminem. And he has this song with Pink called Need Me, the most poppy song ever. And yeah, he's spitting, but that did not need to be on an Eminem album. That could have been on Pink's album. And the thing about it, these records, like the pop records, they are not that bad, but they're not that bad at the end of the day, but they don't need to be on an Eminem album. The Kalani record, that was cool, but that could have been on a separate Eminem album. Because, JC, like on the last two albums, Recovery and Marshmallows LP 2, they had two pop singles with Rihanna, right? And they stuck out like a sore thumb. That's what these records were. They stuck out like a sore thumb. If they would have just separated them and put them on separate albums, then maybe it could have worked. Because he would have got a number one single out of one of them, but when you put them all on there, like, to me, it just sounds like, to me, his managers just convinced him, you know what? His manager said, yo, you need to become more pop, and we need to fucking invade the entire chart. So let's get all these pop acts, and let's just try to fucking, fuck up the charts. I told you from the get-go, I felt like they picked that Beyonce single just off name value, just so it could top the charts. And the one thing that they failed to realize is Beyonce singles never cracked the top 10 like that. That's just Rihanna. So maybe if Rihanna would have sang that song, maybe. But other than that, Walk on Water, even though it is a decent song, it's not a fucking single. And everything else, man, I could just go on and on about this album. And it's, like I said, when I keep re-listening to it, it's not that bad it's like, he's still rapping. And the great records that remind me of who he is, and he's rapping normal on it. He's rapping normal on these two records, on those few records. I'm like, oh, so you still know how to do this. It's like, to me, his brain is just scattered all over the place. He's kind of losing motivation to fucking keep making, to stay on topic and shit. Because, like I said, on the Marshmallows LP 2, he covered pretty much everything, right? On Marshmallows LP 2?
It would have been perfect had he just ended on that note.
And just stuck to producing and just pushing out all his other artists and maybe drop some tracks here and there just to remind people who he is. I would have been happy with that. And just kind of secretly work on an album and not release anything until you feel you're ready. Because those 4 tracks in there, yeah, and Dr. Dre had nothing to do with this album. He only produced 1 track, and in his little interview, he said straight up that Dr. Dre was taking a break while he was recording the album, so he was sticking with Rick Rubin, and that was a problem right there. Rick Rubin needs to stay the fuck away from Eminem. Skylar Grey needs to stay the fuck away from Eminem. Alex the Kid needs to stay the fuck away from Eminem. You niggas need to appreciate fucking Relapse, because that was the only album, the last album, where Eminem and Dr. Dre collaborated with each other. You know what Revival reminded me of?
What's that?
There's a story that Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, and Bruce Sweden, the engineer, talk about when they do Thriller. When they recorded the album, they were done mixing it, the first mix, right? Mm-hmm. And they decided to play the full album in its entirety for the first time so they could be like, yeah, we're going to turn it in. They're all hyped about it. They're excited. So they started playing the album, right? Mm-hmm. And then slowly but surely, Michael slipped out the room, right? Then after that, Quincy Jones slipped out the room. And then they were just looking, Bruce Wayne looked around, they were all, and this is like midway through the album, they're like, what's going on? So they go out there and they realize that the first mix of this album is trash. The first mix of Thriller was trash. Eminem didn't have that moment on Revival. When he played the first mix of this shit, nobody slipped out the room. They all looked at him like, yeah, Em, this is going to be big. He has too many yes men around him. He said Paul Rosenberg tells him no all the damn time. He didn't tell him no enough. He was just thinking about them dollar signs. This album was disrespectful to every stan out there in the world. I don't give a damn. And I'm an M fan saying this shit, so don't say I'm biased towards this nigga. He's still my favorite rapper, and he disappointed me with this bullshit. I gotta defend Encore now. I'm looking at Encore like it's Thriller now. Ain't that some shit? Huh. Shit done pissed me off. Now I'm fucking talking about this shit now, and I'm probably gonna listen to it. Shit, man. And like JC said, like, he probably don't have it no more, honestly. I don't even know if he just needs to hang it up. And one thing that really established my review for this album, because over the weekend I was watching a whole bunch of reviews for Star Wars and Revival, just to kind of make my mind up about Revival, about that album in particular. And this one dude named Sean C. on YouTube, he broke it down in his final thoughts video, and he said he left this question that really just established it for me. He said, if this album was the first time you ever heard Eminem, just disregard Marshall Mathers LP and his back catalog, everything you know about him, Dr. Dre and everything. If this was your first time ever hearing Eminem, would you like this album or would you like this artist? And I said, no, he'll just be a more edgier G-Eazy to me. And I'm being real with you. He'll be a more edgier G-Eazy, MGK, all them niggas. That's who he would be to me. If I did not know who he was, yeah. So that was my final review. And if I could give it out of 4 stars, I'll give this shit a 2.5, not even a 2. Just a solid 2. Just for those tracks that remind me of who Slim Shady is and Eminem is. It'll just be a 2. So, yeah, I hope you stands are happy about that review.
You done? Now
you can laugh.
Oh, no, I was going to actually give mine. So I did my first listen on Twitter. I completely trashed it. But I went back and listened to it 2 more times. Wasn't as bad as how I trashed it. Now, in saying that, it's still pretty bad. It's a badass album. It
wouldn't have made our list. Let's put it to you that way.
Yeah.
It would not have made it. Of all the great music that dropped this year, M really dropped the ball. He completely dropped it. I'm sorry, Marshall. You dropped it, bro. If you ever hear this, you really dropped the ball.
Yeah.
You knew it was bad when Joe Budden roasted the shit. When he roasted the Untouchable track, he knew what was to come. And he's on his fucking label. Well, not for now, but shit.
Yeah, so I went back and listened to it, and it wasn't as bad as initially it sounded. But that's because I was reading the lyrics along with it.
See?
So I was like, okay, well, he's still spitting. But, dog, that production, man.
It's the production that fucking killed it for me. And, like, he picks the most... People say that Nas picks trash beats. Eminem pick... I don't know who his A&R is for these type of beats. Because he's thinking of stadium stacks. I know he's touring a lot. And he's going into these big-ass stadium shits. But he wants, like, that big... fucking sound and shit like that. And that's why he got Alex the Kid. Because that Need Me track, I keep going back to that track. That song with Pink is stadium status music. Same with that Alicia Keys record that isn't really that bad. But I told you, that Alicia Keys track, like, what's it called? Like Home? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's like trash.
That should have been the first single.
Yeah, that Pink record that's inexcusable. The fact that was for the first almost 2.5 minutes.
She was singing. It was just her for 2 verses.
So that's inexcusable. Like, I'm thinking about it now. I'm lightweight sidetracked because, of course, it's Monday, and this is a special, very special Monday to me and many Lakers fans across the globe and Kobe fanatics across the globe because we are retiring not 1, but 2 motherfucking jerseys for this man by one organization, the first NBA player to have that done. So I'm a little sidetracked at the moment. Now I'm trying to catch my thoughts.
Eminem.
Well, I know it's Eminem, man. But I'm just saying, if I were to listen to this album before going into tonight, I might not appreciate it because I'd be very pissed off at what M just presented to me. One GOAT gonna fuck up the night for another GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be that pissed. But All I will say to you is, once and for all.
Fuck you, Jed York.